Alright guys, a little bit different video today. Obviously, we're not outside. We are in the kitchen. I want to go over this tri-tip, and hopefully, towards the end of this video, we will be able to successfully render some beef fat into tallow and then can it in our brand new smart canner. So, our tri-tip. This tri-tip weighs probably 5-6 pounds. You don't really see it a lot on the East Coast. It's more of a West Coast cut. I've seen it also called like Santa Maria steak, used in a lot of carne asada plates, etc. There's a bunch of ways to cook it. You can smoke it, make a Trisket. You can just straight up grill it. You can do any number of things. Same as you would any other steak or any other cut of meat, you can do this. I get this meat from a local cattle farm, so all of their cows are grass-fed. Very, very, very old school method of raising cattle. Probably my favorite part of this place is they leave a lot of this gorgeous fat on their cuts. So we're gonna get to it and start trimming this fat off so that we can have our meat exposed. Have our meat exposed when we put it on the pit boss out there, and then we'll kind of run down what we're gonna do with the fat. Anatomically speaking, the tri-tip is gonna be a part of the bottom sirloin. So pretend I'm a cow. My legs are, I'm a cow. The tri-tip comes from this area near the bottom sirloin. So yeah, I've always wondered where tri-tip came from. I gave it a Google after I first had one because I was like, where is this from on the cow? It's got a distinct shape. It looks like a bit of a, what are these things called in Australia? The boomerangs. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get this thing cut up, and then we are going to start preparing it for the smoker and preparing the fat to be rendered. Now, I am no butcher by trade, but I mean, I know what I don't want on my meat when I'm smoking it. That's typically a lot of this. So we're just gonna take our knife, start picking away at this layer of fat cap. I'll probably speed this video up in a second. See, look at that. Look at that. Fat. Goodness. Trying to stay as close to the fat as possible. Not trying to take any extra meat off. If I do, it's not the end of the world. Alright, so that's about as good as I'm trying to get it for right now. I just want to be able, we'll work on this some more. But I just want to be able to get the meat exposed to the seasonings that I'm going to be using. Sorry, seasoning, just one. I'll go over that here in a second. Try to get this membrane off. There we go. I mean, look at that inside. Oh, man. Anyway. Alright, we got our fat pieces separated. We're going to toss them off to the side. We're going to start them rendering here in a second. But I do want to get this tri-tip seasoned and ready for the smoker, which I'm about to turn on here in a second. Binder, yellow mustard. I mean, it's either that or olive oil. Oh, nasty. The crusty mustard. The mussy. We're going to give this a nice little coating of yellow mustard. I'm going to work that in with one hand. Try getting all the nooks and crannies of the meat. Alright, once we're satisfied with that, we're going to take our 1042 steak rub. They also have a brisket rub that I have been using on my tri-tips. This has got activated charcoal in it, so it looks really nice whenever it's done. But I'm going to try something new today. This is their steak rub. This is available on Amazon if anybody's curious. But we're going to apply a very generous coating on our meat. Smells really good. Alright. Flip them over. Same thing on the other side with your mustard hand. Ooh, bless you. Rub this in, getting all the nooks and crannies. On the sides as well, because we're going to want that seasoning on the sides too. We're going to take our rub, same thing on this side. Nice, generous coating. Got a little chunky in transit, I guess. Alright, now we've got a lot of leftovers on our cutting board, so we're just going to take our steak and dip it around. Dip it around. Sorry. Alright, now that we've cleaned up our mess a little bit, we don't want to anger the dishwasher, she's on her way back. We're going to take our fat right here, and we're going to bring it out onto a smaller cutting board. And we're going to chop this down into more manageable pieces. That way it'll render a little bit faster. Alright, let's talk about beef tallow for a second. So, beef tallow is just an alternative to your everyday cooking oils. Olive oil, coconut oil, canola oil, all those oils that you don't know where they come from. This beef, I know where this beef came from. It came from a farm 10 minutes down the road. I can see the cows that they slaughter when I drive in to pick up my meat. I know where the tallow came from. I made it. So, you know, and grass-fed beef tends to have a little bit healthier tallow. When you compare tallow to canola oil, the nutritional facts, they're generally the same. Tallow has less calories and more saturated fats, more healthy saturated fats, whereas you have canola oil with more polysaturated fats. The difference being, tallow has a bunch of fat-soluble vitamins, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, whatever the vitamins are. All of those are in beef tallow. B12, it's all in beef tallow. And it gives your French fries a really nice beefy taste whenever you fry them up in beef tallow. So the plan is to get this rendered down in a few hours. That way I'll have a nice layer of fat water in the bottom of this pot. We'll take it to a canner, and then we'll have beef tallow canned and ready for the next time we want to use it to cook with. But for now, we're going to get to this tri-tip. The tri-tip is resting right now, trying to get more to room temperature. We're going to set the pit boss out there to about 180. Typically what I'll do is I'll have the tri-tip in the smoker at about 180 for an hour, and then I'll bring a cast iron out, sear it, probably 2 minutes each side, maybe less than that, depending. The weather's kind of cold outside, so I might have to keep monitoring the smoker. So yeah, I'm gonna go out there, crank this thing up. We're gonna let our beef fat continue rendering, and hopefully everything turns out nice. By the way, first time canner, long time listener. Never canned before in my life. I bought this thing a few days ago. It came in an Amazon box yesterday. It's about $100 on Amazon right now. Fits 4 or 5 quarts. So it'll fit, I don't want to touch these too much, but it'll fit probably 5 of these little ones. So yeah, I'm gonna go out here and I'll be right back. Right now that we got our pit boss at 5,000 degrees, we're going to take half a stick of butter here. This is just unsalted Land O'Lakes. And toss it in the pan, toss it in the cast iron. just to recap, this meat's been on the smoker for about an hour and a half now. Got it out here cooling a little bit. Now, all we do is take it, toss it in. Need a bigger pan. Let that hang out for a bit. We got the fat still rendering. We got a little nice amount of fat down in there. The tri-tip is off the smoker. What I want to talk about is how to cut tri-tip. So tri-tip actually has two different direction of grain. So think of taking half of the boomerang and going up. This thing shrunk a lot from all that heat. But think of taking half the boomerang and working up. These are sliced at an angle going in, and these are going to be sliced horizontally going up, or however you want to do it, but typically right around here. So buttery. Now we'll take this second one, cut it horizontally. And there we have our stack of tri-tip. We've got our tri-tip tucked away in the fridge for meals this week. Next, we're going to take this beef fat that's been rendering for about 5 hours, and we're going to put it through a sieve to filter all the pieces out. And then from there, we're going to transfer it into one of these jars for the canning process. Now typically we would want to have a piece of cheesecloth in the bottom of this sieve to keep out the fine, very fine particulates. So if you look in here, you can see there's a little crud on the bottom. I mean, not much we can do about that. I'm not going to use a paper towel because that's just going to absorb the oil. So I'm going to get this into a jar and we're going to start canning. Now honestly, this isn't a lot of beef tallow. However, if you are one of those people that gets your meat from a farm and then you want to package it yourself, this would be a good way to collect a bunch of fat at once and then just essentially create more than this. Obviously, this is from one tri-tip, just from the fat cow. But like I said, typically, I mean, I might even start doing it when I go to the farm store. Maybe just repackaging all the meat, cutting off all the fat trimmings, and just spending an afternoon rendering them down into tallow. So I'm gonna get this into this jar without burning myself. All right. Not a lot, right? Not a lot, but it's okay. So from there, all these cans are already sanitized, so nothing to worry about there. We're gonna seal it up. I said we're gonna seal it up. And then take it over here to our brand new canner that we have. Got 8 cups of water in here and a canning rack. And let's shut it up, lock it, and see what happens. We'll put it on high. And it'll take time to obviously preheat and warm up, but I put the jar in there because of the temperature difference. I don't want to preheat this and get this up to a high temperature and then throw in a cold jar, because the temperature difference might cause the jar to shatter inside. But I put the jar in there for the preheating process because we're canning, we're not cooking. But once this is done, I will set this to I believe pints, 75 minutes, 75, yeah, and then let it sit, cool, and then we'll throw it in the pantry for use later. But I'll show you the finished product here in a bit. Alright, here we have our final product. That little amount. Sealed, shelf stable. Probably throw it in my pantry whenever we're done. Like I said earlier, it's probably easier if you're repackaging your own vacuum seal bags. That way you can consolidate your fat and get multiple pounds of it, rather than just maybe a pound, maybe less of fat. So probably going forward in the future, I'll be vacuum sealing my own beef when I get it from the farm. That way I can cut off the fat, kind of get it ready for cooking. But yeah, hope you guys like the video. Probably taking a day trip tomorrow up to Virginia. Not sure yet. They're under a winter storm warning. Kind of want to get up there and see what the damage is like. But yeah, if you like this kind of video, I'll probably be doing a mead. First time doing a mead, maybe this weekend or this week. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments.